What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video I want to give you guys some rapid-fire impressions on Tomb Raider 4 through 6 Remastered. Spire was nice enough to send over a review code, one that I did not expect, but I'm very grateful for, and I thank them for. Now, look, I was only able to play this thing just for a little. What I basically was trying to do was just seeing, okay, what's the remastered part, right? Because I think I did this probably similarly with Tomb Raider 1 through 3. I actually think Aspire has done a really good job here, and they've made some mistakes. The Battlefront collection is one recent one I can think of, but when it comes to Legacy of Kain, or when it came to Tomb Raider 1 through 3 and now 4 through 6, I actually think they've been on a kind of a hot streak and done like relatively good with these things. And look, it's kind of simple what you're trying to do with these things, right? You're taking some games that are loved, you're taking some games that are pretty old, and you're taking some games from kind of a different generation, different era, right? And you're not remaking them, you're just simply making them look nicer. You're ideally making them run better. You're adding things like photo mode. There's cheats in these games, things like that. You're just kind of updating it as much as you kind of need to. And I will say, like, if that's the expectation, and it kind of should be, because that's what you're getting here, I think they did a really good job. So basically what I did, just for this rapid fire kind of test thing, I turned on the game. I played all three of them, but the first one, or Tomb Raider 4, I guess I should say, right? We got to number them. I played that game for about hour and a half, and then I did about 25-30 minutes of the other two, just simply, see the opening, see what these games are about. I've never played some of these older Tomb Raider games. I think I played some. I did not jump in like with Tomb Raider 2012 or 2013, whatever like the new era was. That was not my first one, but I just don't know which ones, of the past I've played. And I will tell you, I think they kind of did the work for me, or for anybody kind of critiquing it, where obviously if you press like start, you can actually swap right back and forth between old and new, and it is night and day, at least with 4 and 5. May I just say something here? 4 and 5, night and day. You press it, you see what it looked like in the past, you see what it looks like now. You can make the argument for a remake in that way. When you look at 6, what's interesting about 6 is that game actually looks really, really good. And I don't know necessarily the years that these games came out. I don't know what kind of jump there was between 5 and 6, but I actually played 6 for about 5 minutes without realizing which one I had done, because I was like pressing it over and over, back, forth, just to kind of see what the old version looks like versus this one. And I was actually running around platforming, and I actually was playing it in the old version, not the remastered. So I say that maybe as a little knock to the remaster, I guess, version, but also kind of as a congrats to the team that made the original 6, where it's like, hey, that game actually looks quite good, and they do make it look better. Okay, things are just kind of cleaner. If you're looking at signs, you're looking at lighting, you can definitely tell where lighting has improved over like 20 years ago to now. You can tell, okay, you can, but I would say 6 is actually the hardest to tell, one versus the other. Beyond that, these are the Tomb Raider games. This is where it kind of gets difficult, right? And I think I said this for 1 through 3. At the end of the day, it's games that you either are into and you enjoyed back then, or you want to try for the very first time now, or you're just not into it, right? Like, these games are, I would argue, an acquired taste. The way the puzzle solving is, the way the combat is, the tank controls. I will say they tend to get better each one. I had a real tough time. I remember a year or so ago playing 1 through 3. Obviously, that's the origin point, right, where the series started, and very difficult, at least for somebody like me, to pick up and do the tank controls. Each one of these games got easier. I think they even swapped certain button layouts with 6. The way Laura will like hold things and pull herself up, I think is actually a different button for the very first time in 6 versus like 1 through 5. So 6, I think, is the most like newer, right? Like, it feels like the most new age, but it's an acquired taste, and it's actually, I will say, to kind of give myself a pat on the back, I'm not playing these games for 20 hours. I'm not going through them from beginning to end, at least not right now, but I did feel better about myself. I was able to do more of the platforming, at least in the earlier levels on all 3 of these games, more than I was able to do 1 through 3. I wasn't getting frustrated. Things are just, they were a little bit more modern in 4, 5, 6. So I think those are probably the more playable games, and then they kind of lead, when you remaster them, to also maybe the better remastered titles. Either way, again, for kind of a rapid fire thing like I'm doing here, I think it did what it needed to do. I don't think it blows it away. This is not a complete remake, but for what they're trying to be, cheaper game, right, kind of comes out in this busier February period, a way to preserve these games, which I'm always a fan of, right, kind of moving them forward and just kind of keeping them alive. I think Aspire's honestly done a really good job with Tomb Raider so far. So let let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.